Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Whiskey with Ivy. I'm sure you noticed that this is unusually wet June, but I love it. The crunchy countryside is beautifully green and cool, and all the birds are busy mating and making babies. Yesterday, I spent the whole day working hard so that I can give you a good show this week and lots to think about. Although these are 2 pages of insight, it actually is the top of the news. I don't know how many of you took the trouble to read Minister Heng Swee Keat's speech thoroughly. I did. You know why I did? My doctor told me after my last health test that I may live for another 20 years. And therefore, I am very interested in what is going to happen to my country in the next 20 years. I would like to split his speech into 3 simple headings. Kudos. He said, I believe that trust between the people and the government is absolutely essential, and the best way to win your trust is to first trust you with the truth, no matter how hard or unpopular. He's absolutely right. But Minister Heng, before you can do that, you must have an enlightened and well-informed citizenry. If your people are stupid, they won't be able to understand what you are trying to do. Next, he said, we will work with you to create a shared future. Singaporeans to come forward to envision our future, to propose ideas to shape our future. That is very, very good suggestion, and I will definitely give him a lot of ideas from where I am. I have the next section under queries. Minister Heng said, we came to identify ourselves as Singaporeans, not just as Chinese, Malay or Indian or bilingual or religion. You know, maybe you will recall our past 2 Prime Ministers. Mr. Lee Kuan Yew said, you must be colorblind if you think that we are all Singaporeans. Number 1. And I believe Mr. Goh Chok Tong said, there is no such thing as a Singaporean. Okay? And the continual reference to the Chinese, Malay, Indian and others in our identity card does not work. My identity card says under race that I'm Indian, but I'm not Indian. My mother was Chinese, so they should start a new race called Singaporean. Like Australian is a mixture of races, American is a mixture of races, so let's start Singaporean, okay? Another query, Minister Heng. The nominated members of parliament scheme was introduced so that more views could be heard in parliament. The only way to describe this is bullshit. Okay? We should return to real politics. We should have 1 member of parliament in charge of 1 constituency. We should stop gerrymandering. We should stop having GRCs. We should have members of parliament who win their place in parliament and not just be someone on the GRC bandwagon. So please look at this seriously. So the conclusion, he's got great initiatives, okay? The war on diabetes is good. Helping disadvantaged people and seniors is good. Work-life harmony is also good to look at. Environmental sustainability. He's going to look into our living environment and to build a stronger sense of community, which is all good. And finally, and Singaporeans must remember this, we are an oasis of stability in a turbulent world. We are at the heart of an economically vibrant, growing Asia and on the cusp of the 4th Industrial Revolution, which is all very true. But on the point of the 4th Industrial Revolution, my suggestion is that we are not on the cusp of the 4th Industrial Revolution. We are on the 4th wave, and let's hope it's not a tsunami that will drown us off. So my fellow citizens of Singapore, let's all get together, let's all pull together, let's give Heng Swee Keat a chance to lead us all with his gang into a better paradise for all of us. I am prepared to give him that chance. Let's help him. As this is a topic that concerns our country and all of us, we will make this our poll question. Will you give DPM Heng Swee Keat and his team a chance to lead? Yes, no, or you don't know? Please look at the link, give us your answer so that we can help them along the way. Here are the results of last week's poll. How far will you go to reduce disposables, encourage reusables? 43% said all the way, baby. 57% said provided it doesn't inconvenience me. But the good thing is nobody said no lah, it won't make a difference. So almost everybody had an opinion. Can we achieve zero waste? 29% said yes, we can. 71% said no, it's all sweet talk. But luckily, nobody said maybe, but depends on the government. So again, we have good views. The last question was, do you believe you can make a difference? 33% said yes, because we have no choice. 33% said no, one person can't make a difference. And 33% suggested ways we can cut down on waste. The very good suggestion was, I noticed hawker centres using more disposable utensils to save on washing time. This is a huge increase compared to the past. Removing straws are just a smokescreen. Target these hawkers first. I don't think we should be unkind to hawkers. I think we should all try to reduce waste. Update on raising retirement re-employment ages by September. My wonderful, beautiful Minister Josephine Teo. Darling, I have just employed an 80-year-old Singaporean at my farm. She is super smart, but most importantly, super experienced. And we pay her almost $15 an hour because she can help me to train my younger people who are all well educated and very tech savvy and even smarter than a robot, but lack the experience. So my advice to you, Minister, don't need to orchestrate everything. We owners of SMEs know what we are doing. We will employ people who are useful, who are hardworking, and who work as a team and believe in ownership to help the business work. Just help SMEs with land, labor, and licensing issues, and we will know what to do and who to employ. Another big story about helping fathers to balance their family, their career, dad-given option of paid sabbatical, more Singaporean men choosing to be stay-at-home dads. You know, I always wonder, when you need to give mother's maternity leave, father's paternity leave, and others for grandfather, grandmother, compassionate leave, etc., who is left to do the work? The bosses, like me. First, you must get people to organize their lives. Get married only when you're ready and produce children only when you can afford it and when you have time. But government can do a lot to help people. Give free education, free transport, cheaper housing and food. Help to ensure that dads and mums can support a family on one income. No need to have maids, no need to have so many childcare centers, and the children will be brought up well. This can be done if there is political will, because we are one of the richest countries in the world. So help our people to have children. I'm fascinated with this picture. I know you got reverse parking, front parking, but this is diagonal parking. But the serious matter is, this elderly person created this problem. Elderly woman. I would like to know, what is our definition of elderly, and what rules and regulations do we have to help these people drive safely? I believe in Japan, they have a test called cognitive testing. So you not only check whether you got good eyesight and good heart, but whether your brain is actually working. Let's look into the rules of driving for older people. Home tutor pleads guilty to molesting girl after class, and the man's lawyer had the audacity to ask for no caning or a maximum of only 3 strokes be given. You know, I'm going to suggest that we give him 100 strokes and also give the lawyer a few strokes for doing that. You know, we should cancel the PR of this guy and send him back to the hole that he crawled out from. Why have we allowed this person to come into our country to be a tuition teacher, having 40 students, and I'm sure he doesn't pay income tax as well, and the chance to molest our children? Cane him, send him away. Illegal discharge into sewers, 38 firms punished. I'm surprised that Bread Talk is part of them. How is it possible? Because Bread Talk is a food company. But may I suggest that the NEA should look into whether this toxic waste or chemical waste is rat poison, because many food and beverage outlets and food companies are encouraged by pest control companies to use rat poison. I do not use rat poison at my farm because I don't want to poison my dogs, I don't want to poison the snakes, I don't want to poison the squirrels, I don't want to poison the cobras, etc. And most importantly, I do not want to poison the water in my farm. We received this very well written and thought through letter from Karen Brown, who is a taxi driver. Her basic request is for me to look into this problem of taxi drivers in light of the new wave of private hire vehicles and how the taxi drivers are suffering due to the rules and regulations they have to operate under. So Karen, don't worry, I will definitely write to LTA and the regulators with your letter so that they will contact you and also look into your plight. Thank you for taking the trouble to write on behalf of taxi drivers. I also know you all are suffering. Today, my closing is based on nature and the colors of nature. Like the rainbow, it represents diversity, it represents many forms of life, all of which we love as long as it is good. We only destroy evil. We do not discriminate against good life. Thank you for watching Coffee and Whiskey again, and I look forward to doing our last show for this season next week. Please remember to subscribe.